Oh, hi, welcome to Short Story Sketches, where I do a speed painting and narrate a short story inspired by the background I am painting. My name's Jessica, and if you like creative writing and art, this may be the channel for you. So clearly, I am late to the game. I wanted to have this up by Halloween, and it just didn't happen, but here I am. This story is inspired by the Ghost Duet song by Louis Zong. Thankfully, Louis posted on Twitter that this and any other song they make is up for use as long as credit is given, unless you're a large company, which I am not. I will say that this story does come with a trigger warning. We are talking about ghosts, and of course, in order for a ghost to be, death has to occur. I don't want to give away too much of the ending, but I think a good general statement would be, if you are currently grieving, there is no shame in clicking off of this video. This may not be the story for you, especially if the person you're grieving didn't just die simply of old age. So if this is you, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time on a different day with a different video that's better suited towards you. Now, without further delay, let's jump in. Boo for two. The clock strikes midnight, and your eyes crack open, adjusting to, well, the darkness, you suppose. This day only comes once a year, and for the past 100 years, it seems like it's really lost its charm. You make an audible yawn and slowly ascend to the surface to see if any of your friends are already out and about. As you emerge, you hear the creaking of branches from the trees above you. Piles of leaves begin to scatter as the wind gently blows them around the graveyard. Or at least you assume that's the case, seeing as you can't exactly feel the wind anymore. You look around the cemetery and see familiar figures, but no one that you would really necessarily feel comfortable spending the full 5 hours with. As you scan the graveyard, you notice the fresh dirt. It looks like a new grave was added over the past year. You float over to it and read the name on the headstone. Jaden. You chuckle. This decade has names that always sound the same. Jaden, Aiden, Braden, Caden. It's better than Jebediah, though, you think to yourself. Or Bethel. You knew a couple of those at one point. Small groups and couples depart the grounds and float down the street, making their way to different locations in order to participate in the activities they have planned for the night. Their only way of communicating is through subtle gestures and the occasional ooh. It's a shame not being able to properly communicate. Other ghosts make their way over to the bar across the street. Maybe your friends are already in there. It's usually weird for the newbies, though, and it'd be polite to stay and wait for Jaden or Zayden or whoever, but they're taking too long, so they'll figure it out. You float over to the cold blacktop and look down the street. No cars, no people. This place really does look like a ghost town. It's surprising that a person was buried here so recently. You were certain that the living forgot this town long ago. It's likely because he wanted to be next to a family member, though. Sometimes that happens. You float through the saloon-style doors and see several empty tables, but no open seats at the bar. A short, pudgy ghost is singing on the small stage with a couple of musicians behind him. You look around briefly and see one of your friends sitting at the table with another ghost that you don't recognize. You float over to the table and join them. She excitedly starts talking to you and gestures to the other figure. They hold hands and she pecks the other ghost on the cheek. You smile in approval and nod accordingly to her excitement. Her and her partner get up from the table, hold hands once again, and depart the saloon. Your friend waves behind her as they exit. You slowly wave back with a fake smile, recognizing that you won't be seeing much of her anymore. You stare forward and dissociate for a hot second before snapping out of it. I mean, why are you so upset? It's not like you actually knew her. You can't understand a single word that she says, or anyone for that matter. Even with ghost body language, it's still difficult to know exactly what someone's saying. How would she even know that there's a connection between her and the other ghost? You look down at the table, recognizing your jealousy. Okay, so maybe you're lonely. It's tough feeling like you've spent your whole existence by yourself. As soon as you look up from the table, you see a tall, curious ghost staring at you. You blink once and return their gaze. Your cheeks feel warm as you stare into their eyes. All ghosts look the same, so why does this one make you feel different? The tall ghost begins to speak, and you lean in, listening closely to what they have to say. It's not like you understand a single word of it, but you could listen for hours. They point up to the band as the song ends, and you look back and forth between them and the stage. They hold their hand out, and instinctively you reach for it. You can feel their hand. It's the only thing you've been able to physically feel this whole time. Suddenly, a pull towards the stage breaks your train of thought, and before you know it, the band starts up again, and your crush takes the lead. You've never sang karaoke before, but quickly find out that it's not so hard if you have a partner to focus on. The world around you blurs, and all you can see is them, this beautiful, handsome figure in front of you. Pink and red hearts appear around their face, and a ray of light shines down from the heavens as if to say, "Here's your sign." Your lonely feelings from earlier have drifted away, and the warmth from this stranger's eyes have replaced any cold feeling that you had. This must be what Elaine felt when she found her soulmate. No wonder they got up and left this dark, sad saloon. The music ends, and your face is gushing with excitement. Quickly, you grasp the tall ghost's hand to lead them away from the stage and out the door. You float outside, and for the first time, this place is brighter than you've ever seen it. Autumn has fully set in. The clouds aren't as dark as before, the other spirits aren't as annoying, and instead of staying inside, you find yourself wanting a night out on the town. As the hours go by, you and your friend visit every spot in town worth seeing. The old park, the river that runs through Main Street, everything. After hours of conversation, well, kind of, you pause in the silence and think to yourself, they really do seem interested in you. They laugh at your jokes, smile when you ooh at them. The feelings you have really seem to be reciprocated. How come you both hadn't met previously? Town Square's clock chimes low, reverberating through the whole town. 15 minutes left. You look at your partner solemnly, and they respond with a stoic gaze. You both float down the sidewalk towards the cemetery. Once you arrive, you take the opportunity to show them your grave, so now they know your name. They smile gently and playfully bump into you, as if to tease you. You gesture around the graveyard, asking to see theirs. They look around for a moment and seem to be lost. After a few seconds, they begin to float out the gate back onto the street. You follow them closely, yet you're concerned about how much time is left and slightly confused about where they're going. It's a small town, and this is the only graveyard here. They follow the sidewalk down for a minute or so before turning into a small patch of forest. It looks like an old hiking spot with a dirt path winding through the trees. Either that, or it's where the kids used to hang out whenever this town was inhabited. After following the trail for a few moments, your partner turns towards a tree and floats past it off the path. You feel uneasy as you follow, but suddenly they stop and look back at you. You lock eyes and approach what's in front of them. It's them. The moment they left the cemetery, You were afraid that this was a possibility. You lean into them, and they into you. Maybe next year you'll find out what their name is, but for tonight, you're just thankful that you met. Together, you float back to your graveside, quiet and in thought. After approaching the headstone, you look back at them, and they give you a weak smile. Slowly, you both lean in and kiss. It's a healing kiss. It's the reassurance you need, the love you both feel, and the peace your partner was looking for. As you fall back into your slumber, the last thing that flashes through your mind is how eternity may not be so bad after all, now that you've found them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on what to write about next, please let me know in the comments below because I love getting inspiration from other people. Also, if you love the vibe, please subscribe because it really helps me out. I'll see you guys next time.